Sashi
Puki Joshi Metotam Rira Ningshi Ninde Gyambadi Sangye Shingdu Mikte Uwargi Chokun Namdak Shingla Chuparsho Idam Guru Radha Mandala Kamniyatayami
Sangye
Chudam Soki Chonam La Jamchu Bardu Dagni Kyapsuchi Dagi Chenyen Gipe Sunamki Drola Penchir Sangye Chuparsho
Sangye
Chunam Soki Chonam La Jamju Bardu Dagni Kyamsuchi Dagi Chunyen Gipe Sunam Ki Yola Penchir Sangye Chuparsho
Sangye
Chunam Soki Chonam La Jamju Bardu Dagni Kyamsuchi Dagi Chenyen Gibe Sunam Ki Jola Venchir Sangye Chuparsho Omahum. Okay.
We're up to Dila. Dila something Ninjo Chuju down.
So he said, I'm going to explain the 60 verses of reasoning by Arya Nagarjuna.
Yeah.
Generally, its purpose is to show that all the teaching's true intent is that of the great school of the middle way. And more specifically, its purpose is to reverse the wrong ideas of the lower schools about the nature of things starting and stopping. Okay? Dila, and so for this task, did you have a question?
Yeah. Is it that their idea that starting and stopping don't occur on their own is their wrong idea, or is it that?
Yeah, that is the wrong idea.
Oh.
In order to stop the wrong ideas of those who believe that things start and stop on their own. Okay.
Oh, I thought it said that they don't occur on their own. Okay, I misunderstood that.
Okay. Got it?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if it's a special goal of the 60 verses to address Hinayana scriptures, but he seems to be implying that. I hope it's not the case, because I kind of would like to work with some Mahayana scriptures also, but let's see.
Yeah.
But maybe that's why he called it the 60 verses on reasoning rather than the 60 verses. Like Dun Tongni Dun Chupa is the 70 verses on emptiness. But he called this one Rikpa Du Chupa, which is the 60 verses on reasons, or on reasoning. But reasoning for what? We don't know.
Like you might just keep disproving wrong.
It might be all to attack other schools. But the result's the same. He's going to describe Prasangika. Okay. So my Dila, any question?
That's it, I'm good.
Okay, Dila, so for that, meaning for my job, which had that more general and more specific goals, for that, there's going to be 3 parts which are the same as they were for other people's texts. Front matter, text, and back matter. Okay? Tsombe Ngundo? Ngundo?
Preparation.
Yeah, the preliminaries to the composition. The preliminaries to the composition, which is Chujya, offering of praise. Hey, then the Tsampa Chawe Shung, the actual text, which has been composed. By the way, he repeats the word Tsomba 3 times here.
Wow.
The verb. Preliminaries to the composition. The actual text, which is composed and dedicating the virtue of having composed the text. Okay, so there's 3 tsampas here, and you have to show the 3 tsampas, and none of them are tsampa. She's my tsampa dealer. She gives me sampa to eat.
So it's the preparations which were composed.
No,
Sorry.
the preparations to composing.
The preparations to composed.
Okay, and then the text which is being composed, and dedicating the virtue for what was composed. By the way, I wouldn't be surprised if the second samba should have been spelled without the S.
Oh, because it's present tense.
You might want to check. You know, some old carving or something. Who's your author?
It's Gyaltsab J.
Oh yeah, nasty. Okay. Well, let's do a statistical vote. You know I like to do that.
Ben, do you
Sorry.
have the scan pulled up?
I do.
We are on.
Let's see if the future tense is the same as the past tense, or whether truly it is a carving error. Maybe the carver was looking at the third one and just repeated that for the second one. It'd be more convenient, as Geshe Tutorinchen says, debo.
Good.
It would make me more comfortable if it were spelled differently. But let's see. He always says this spelling's not quite comfortable. Okay, we're going to take a statistical vote between Samparja future tense with an S and Samparja future tense without the S. Here we go. The search is set up. I vote for no S. I mean, and if I lose, the text is wrong. The database. Here we go. No S. One for me. Oh, different book. Okay, different book. No S. Two for me. No S. Three for me. Tell me when you want to stop. No S. Four for me. No. Oh, dear. Who is that? So now, oh, he's one of the greatest writers. Okay. Four for me, one for him. Five for me, one for him. Six for me, one for him. Okay? If you really care, which I don't, you can go to the verb tables at the end of Sikh.
Yeah.
Okay? Some, put a space after it, because otherwise you'll hit the S. Okay? And you want to say within one line. Okay? There's verb tables at the end of the Sikh. And the verb tables are also repeated for each verb entry. Anyway, we should hit it if we do this. There it is, okay? Past tense, present tense.
Is that the way
This is, present tense, past tense, future tense, and imperative. You should compose. Okay?
So can you say the order of those again? Present?
I compose. I composed.
Present, past.
I will compose.
Okay.
Compose.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm still right. But I'm curious, you know, maybe that's how they carved it. Where is it?
It's, we're somewhere in here. You'll find it better than me.
It's going to be right after the verses.
Here's the end of the verse, I guess.
I think it's up one.
Sorry.
There we are.
Oh.
Nope, it's an S in the text, in the carving. Sorry about that. Okay. All right, let's not worry about it. So, I'm going to divide the preliminaries to the composition into three parts: Gupedun, Dudun, and Sikdun. Okay? Number one.
Yeah, the need to compose the work.
Meaning, what was the purpose? So sometimes the word gupa, which means need, should be read as the point. You know,
right.
What's the point of this preliminary section? You know, not so much as necessity, but what was the point of it? Didun, how do we summarize that opening salvo? You know, let's have a little summary of that first verse. And then I'm going to tell you the meaning of each word in that verse.
Uh,
He's really going to tear apart
Deep down,
the opening verse, the preliminary verse.
uh,
Then he quotes it directly, and you should be, as a responsible translator, keeping an eye on the Tengyur version to make sure it matches his version.
oh yeah, yeah.
Okay? So you should insert the Tengyur version here
Okay.
and compare them. If they're the same, you can wipe out the Tengyur version. If they're not the same, we have to look at it and see if the differences are important.
Got it. This is the verse, right? Oh.
Now, we're going to attack this opening line of Nagarjuna. Is it the first verse of Nagarjuna?
I haven't checked it against the root text. But
There was probably a bow down there first. Oh no, this is the bow down.
Yeah. Should I find it and open it?
I can open it for you right here. I got it right here.
Okay.
Here you go. Kangi ke don chikpadak. Sudi yini pangyapa. Tenchin jungwa sumbayi tubong de la chaktalo. Same, I guess.
Isn't it start with Jumpel Shin or Gyurpa?
We covered that already.
Oh, okay.
Kangi ke don chikpadak. Kangi ke don chikpadak. Sundi yini pangyapa. Sundi yini pangyapa. Kangi ke don chikpadak. Kangi ke don. Whoa. Oh. Oh, he just reversed them. No, I'm sorry. Tenjin Jungwa Sumbayi. Tenjin Jungwa Sumbayi. Sungwayi. Okay, past tense.
Mm-hmm.
Past tense in the past tense in the Tengyur.
Okay.
Present tense in Gyaltsa J. Okay?
The Sungwa?
This is Sungpa.
Oh, yeah.
Sungspa. This is present tense. The Tengyur says past tense.
Okay.
Tubon de la Chaktana. Tubon de la Chaktana. That's the same. So the only difference is the past tense. I don't think it's worth a footnote.
Okay.
You know, and he may have been working with a different translation. Okay. If you can find, did you find the Sanskrit? Does it exist? It doesn't exist? You're not sure.
I also wrote to Nicole to see if she...
You actually were trying to sleep last night. Okay.
Last night I wasn't looking for it.
Shepo. Okay.
Yep.
So what's the point of this first verse? Why is it here? De la Gupani. Rang ni yarab dampe chepa lang tumba tembe chir. Two purposes, okay? There's two reasons why Nagarjuna started his book with this 4 lines, which is 2 lines in the Sanskrit probably. Okay? First of all, Rang ni yarab dampe chepa lang tumba tembe chir. He wanted to indicate, so chir means for the purpose of. It's for the purpose of temba, indicating to us that he wants to act in accordance with tumba, the chipa, the behavior of Yarab people. Yarab means good people.
Oh, Yada.
Yarab.
Huh.
Yarab. Okay, it's a colloquialism, you know. Yarab Shivjdu, he's a good guy. It just, in colloquial, it just means good, you know. He's a good dude. Yarab. Ko Yarab. It's a very nice thing to say about somebody else in the monastery. You say, they say, oh, how do you like this guy? You call Yarab Shivjdu. He's a really good guy. So in colloquial, he's a good guy. Okay. Here it means, and he added the word dampa. He wants to show that he behaves in keeping with the behavior of the holy, the good people. And you could probably find a more literary word than good.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay? Rangni means he himself. He wants to show that he himself is acting in accord with the behavior of people of integrity, or what do you call it? Good people.
Yeah.
What do you call it?
Dignity?
People of good repute. Something like that.
High repute.
Yeah. Okay? That's the first reason he bows down to the Buddha. That's the first reason. is that, by the way, that could mean he's following the rules set forth by the king and the ancient translators and wise men. Or it could mean he's bowing down to like lamas, and he's just generally a good person. You know, when he sees a lama, he bows down. Or he's the kind of person who does the right thing. But we don't know which is he means. We don't know which kind of good behavior Gyaltsab's talking about.
Yeah.
Secondly, Tenju Tsombe Chawa Tarchin Jawe Chiro. It's for the purpose of cheer that he wants to be able to complete Tarchin Chawa, the action of composing this commentary.
So it's
Tenju
like to
Tsombe.
complete the work.
What's the implication?
That. Wait. I thought it was saying that it's the part of the preliminary that is the pledge to compose the work.
This is the second rationale for pledging. No, it's not pledge yet.
It's,
He's bowing down. Chuju.
the second that the pledge to compose.
No,
the
no,
work.
it's not the second. We're not there yet.
Yeah,
We're
it's
still
the
on this.
second
We're on the
reason
second reason for the first part.
Or Nagarjuna.
We're on the second reason for that prostration.
So they can complete the one.
Huh?
I don't know. But the second reason for the prostration.
To complete a book on emptiness is going to take one goddamn big amount of good karma. You know, you want to get to the end of this book a year from now, you better do some good karma. Because otherwise you're going to get sick, you're going to get tired, you're going to meet a girl, get married, have 2 kids. You know, not just one. But, you know, no, I'm just saying, you know, you guys are actually in a very dangerous karmic situation. The demons are coming after you starting now. And half of you may drop out. Okay? So you better do some heavy good karma. What better heavy good karma than to bow down to the Buddha?
Yeah.
See? Okay? So the Nagarjuna is bowing down to the Buddha first because he says, I want to pile up some good karma because, you know, I'm going to start to write this book. The demons are going to come in the front door, you know. Got it?
Yeah.
So, and the implication is that bowing down to a really holy person is enough good karma to finish a book on emptiness. You know. Okay, got it? It's very beautiful. Now,
Krishna, are we going to translate the verse?
oh yeah, I guess we could do that.
You guys already know what that means.
I mean, I could do it later.
We have to start at the end, okay? Chaktalo,
I bow down
la,
to
tubon.
the able one.
Yeah, to the Lord of the Able Ones. Now
Is it-
listen. Kang up here requires an associated day.
Oh, right.
You know,
Yeah.
who is it that destroyed the extremes of things starting and stopping with his system? Buddha.
That guy.
I bow down to that one. So Kang and Day go together. Okay, the Kang in the first line and the Day in the fourth line are connected. Who is it that destroyed? The Buddha is destroyed, and I bow down to that one. So there has to be some kind of process of revelation here. I bow down to the one. Which one? Oh yeah, the one who destroyed the idea that anything could start or anything could stop. Okay, got it? Now, you don't want to say it so obviously,
No.
but when you say I bow down to that one,
Right,
you
that-
kind of covered. You're
That
kind
would
of covered.
be The one who.
Yeah, when you say the one who, you're covered. Kang De. Got it? The one is De and who is Kang. I bow down to the one who. In English, the one is De, who is Kang. Got it? Okay. I bow down to the Lord of the Able. Now go back to the beginning.
Okay.
To the one who Bang.
Got
Past
rid
tense.
of-
Past
Oh,
tense.
bang.
Yeah. Yeah, Bang. You got it. Bang. Past tense.
Yeah. But, nice. Okay.
Who?
Got rid of.
How did he Bang? With this
Great
sun.
efforts.
No, with this, not sun.
Oh,
sun.
in this way.
Yeah, with his system.
Yeah.
I bow down to the one
Mhm.
who, with this system, meaning the one I'm about to tell you in my book. Who's my book? Who's me? Nagarjuna.
Nagarjuna.
Okay, yeah, this is the first verse. I bow down to the one who, with this system, destroyed or eliminated
Yeah.
the idea that anything could start or stop.
Yeah.
Okay, you got in English. You got to add the idea. He didn't destroy starting and stopping. Well, in a way, he did.
Yeah.
But
I have a question about starting.
Go.
How you feel about starting and stopping?
I feel good about it. How do you feel about it?
In a situation where it's poetry, sometimes I think words like creation and destruction can sound better, but because
I like starting and stopping.
Okay, even in poetry.
It's what we talked about this morning. The definition of changing,
Yeah,
starting and stopping instant by instant.
arising and falling.
It's just, I don't know.
Yeah. It's clear. It's much clearer.
It's much clearer. It's okay. Trust me.
Okay,
Okay.
I do. So that's
Comma
oh,
to the person who sungwa tenjing jungwa.
spoke dependent origination.
Yeah,
Dependence.
and of course sugang no tenjing jungwa means dependence. You know. I bow down to the one who spoke dependence, comma. Oh, actually, you should follow the.
Yeah.
I bow down to the one who, with this system, eliminated the idea that things could start or stop. Colon.
The one
To the one who spoke. To the one who said that things occur in dependence. You know, you can think. You might do it that way. Got it?
I like that way.
Okay, now, I was bragging about this book, or I was, wowing about this book to Veronica last night, And she said, well, who wrote it? And because I kept talking about the author. And I thought the word Gyaltsab was too weird for her. So I said, well, it was Gyaltsab. And she said, well, who's Gyaltsab? And I said, and I told her my favorite story about Gyaltsab, which I'm going to tell you. But I'll try to make it quick. You know this story. Anybody doesn't know this story? Okay, well, give me the dates for Gyaltsab. Look it up in Cat. I believe he was older than Tsongkhapa. And he was his...
I trust word on you.
Who's 6 years younger?
Gyaltsab, he's like just 6 years younger.
All right, let's go look it
I
up.
got it, I'm looking.
I looked it up too.
Oh, is he just 6 years younger?
5 or 6.
I'm looking it up. Not that I don't trust you guys.
5.5. They counted them differently in this place anyway. And they didn't keep
There. Born... Sorry.
This is all Jews. 1364.
They're born 1364. He was born only 7 years after, so they're basically the same age. So it's very unusual that, yeah. And he died 15 years after Tsongkhapa. So basically they were about the same age. So Gyaltsab was already famous before he met Tsongkhapa. And he was known as a brilliant logician. Gyaltsab, his main disciple, his number one disciple. By the way, when Tsongkhapa was passing away, on his deathbed at Ganden, he took his hat off and like a frisbee, he threw it to Gyaltsab. He said, get it? You know, it means you're the throne holder. He took his hat off and he went, it's in the painting in that book. In that book, it's in the painting.
I thought they were arguing who is going to be Gyaltsab.
There was some tension, but he threw his hat to Gyaltsab.
That's after they argue or before they argue?
Who argued?
The two disciples.
I don't remember. So anyway, I'll tell you really quick the story. So Tsongkhapa came from East Tibet, and he had a very big nose. And at this point, Veronica said, strong nose like me. And I said, yeah, just like you. Very similar. And then he came to the middle of Tibet, which is where all the philosophy was going on, because he wanted to learn more. He came when he was 19 or something. So anyway, he reached Lhasa, and he started to get a reputation as a great teacher. you know, and he kept giving teachings. And then Gyaltsab heard about it and he got jealous. And he said, I'm going to go, I hear he's teaching tonight. I'm going to go there and show people who's better. And I'm going to blow up the teaching. You know, I'm going to disrupt this teaching. So he started to walk down the road to find his temple. And he got off the road and he got lost. And he's walking across the cow fields, pasture. And then he's getting really confused and it's starting to get dark. And he's like, I got to find out where this temple is. And then he saw like a 16-year-old lady who, cow herd, dirty, skinny, dirty hair, you know, taking care of cows, eating grass. And he went to her and he said, you know, do you know where this temple is, you know? And she said, well, why do you want to go to the temple? And she said, well, the big nose from the east is going to give a teaching. And she said, oh, well, who are you? And he says, I'm Gyaltsab. And then she's like, oh, wait, I got to take my glasses off. Gyaltsab, the great logician? Yes, that's me, you know. Every famous man can get corrupted by a young lady. You know, he's like, yes, that's me, you know. And she's like, oh, I always wanted to meet you, you know. And he's like, oh, yes, everyone does. And so she's like, gee, I've always been interested in logic, you know. And he's like, oh, yeah. And then she said, would you have time to just clear up something for me? And he's like, yes, I can clear up anything, especially for someone who's really interested, you know. And she's like, I have a logic question, you know. And he said, okay, what's the question? She said, look at that cow right now. He's taking a poop. He's like, what? He said, look, the cow raised their tail and the poop come out and go, you know. And she said, I have a logic question. When the poop come up, the top of the poop is here. But when it go down, the top of the poop is at the bottom. Which is the top of the poop and which is the bottom of the poop? Then this is a logic question for you. Then he's like, you know, he's all confused. You know? He's like, I don't know. Then he's like, start to go crazy, you know, and he's like, he lost it. He couldn't say anything, you know, and then finally he's like, and then suddenly she turned into like Vajrayogini, and she's shining in light, you know, and she's like, I don't know who's big nose from the east, but if you want to meet Tsongkhapa, the king of the Dharma, the shining glory, the God of the whole world of philosophy, then she goes like this, and this incense goes in her hand, and she says, he's over there. And then she disappeared, you know. So he's like, whoa. But his pride came back. He said, I'm still going to go interrupt this teaching. You know? And supposed to be when you go into teaching, you take off your punchin hat, Lama's hat. So he said, okay, I'm going to go into teaching, and when I get in, I won't take my hat off. And everybody will know I'm better than him. So then Ngawang Dapa, he can read his mind. And he's coming from across the grass. So he's reading his mind. He says, oh my gosh, he's going to refuse to take his hat off. Bad karma. So he climbed up to the roof and he got some string and a fishhook. And he waited for him, you know. Then he came under the door, he goes, whoosh, and the hat came off, and then Gyaltsab catch the hat, you know. And then all the people heard him in the door, and they go to look, and they say, oh, look, even Gyaltsab take his hat off for Tsongkhapa. Tsongkhapa must be great, you know. Then Gyaltsab's like, dang, you know, everybody thinks I respect him. Then he said, I know, I will go sit on the teaching throne with him. Which is totally illegal, yes. Big illegal. You know. I will go sit next to him. So Tsongkhapa's teaching, I think it was logic. Tsongkhapa's teaching, and then Gyaltsab come up and sit there on the throne, you know, completely improper, bad manners. Then he's like listening to him. Then he's like, wow. Yeah, oh, wow, I never thought of that. Then he started to realize, oh, Tsongkhapa is like unbelievable. So he little bit go like this, you know. Then he's like, he got off the seat, he sit on the stage. Then he said, no. He got down on the ground, and then finally he's like that, you know. Then he said, let me stay with you until I die. You know, please let me stay with you until I die. And, he said, okay. So anyway, that's the story. Why are we talking about that? He was a very big arguer, Gyaltsab Je. He liked to argue with other schools, you know. So, like for example with the Sakyas, he's famous. Rong Chen, very famous Sakya scholar, big scholar, wrote 18 volumes. He wrote 18 volumes on the perfection of wisdom, Rong Chen. And after he debated with Gyaltsab Je said, you know what your problem is? Tekpa Chemba Chung La Ngawa Me Sepe Ngawa Mi Chepe Kyunyin. You haven't really tried very hard to understand the perfection of wisdom. He wrote 18 volumes, which are famous. And he said, Tekpa Chemba Chung La Ngawa Mi Chepa. Your problem is you haven't really tried very hard to understand the perfection of wisdom. So anyway, he was a little bit critical person. Why am I saying that? He's about to criticize a couple of people of his time. And we don't know much about these people. Maybe you can go digging. Okay. The first place to dig is TBRC is a good place because Gene Smith was the greatest scholar of all the Tibetan schools in the world, better than any Tibetan. And so he started TBRC. So what the work he did in there is really, really unbelievable. But other people, he died, other people have been working on it. And then some of the later work is not the same quality, although they are very sincere people and good people. So they're trying really hard. But so I don't buy everything in there. I check it and then I go confirm it. Where? In the database. Where? In the reference text, in the reference section, you know. So I always go check what they say, because sometimes the years are wrong, sometimes the spellings are wrong. Anyway, Batsap is a part of Tibet. He's talking about, you can find a Batsap who wrote a commentary on the works of Nagarjuna. Okay, so I'll give you a clue. You can go dig. And he said, okay, this Batsap said, shell name means, shell is the honorific form for face. And I usually translate it as from his holy lips. Because the holy face we don't say so much. So, it means he respects him. Now whether he agrees with him is a different question. Pakpa Yabse,
The Arya and his son?
the Arya father and son, Z or son. With Tsongkhapa and his disciples, it's Yabse means father and two sons. With Nagarjuna, it's
Oh, father and son.
who's the one son?
Chandrakirti or Aryadeva?
Aryadeva. Okay, so when we say father and son Arya, but we're talking about Arya Nagarjuna and not Arya Tsongkhapa, we're talking about Nagarjuna and Aryadeva. Aryadeva's most famous book,
400 verses.
400 verses on emptiness, Shikyapa. Okay, Chatur Shataka. Okay, Papa Yapse Chuju La Gupa Mishete. She here means
Open. Accept?
yeah, good. With an A, it means open. Without an A, it means to accept. Accept a position. He doesn't agree that there's any gupa to the chuju.
That there's not a purpose for the
Yeah.
offering. The
Why should Nagarjuna and Aryadeva, what's in it for them? Why should they have to bow down to anybody? That's his position. Batsap. Okay? So we're discussing, don't forget, the subject of discussion here is why did Nagarjuna bow down to the Buddha? Okay, and Botsap says there wasn't any special reason. He doesn't need to. The Nagarjuna and his spiritual son, Ayadeva, they have no need to bow down to anybody because Gapa Gashigla Migne, this mig is a verb.
Yeah. Look at.
Yeah, focusing on some number of Gashik, Gapas, needs, okay? Loyu de Chene Chuju Chepa Mayan. He did not write this verse because in his mind he was focusing on some specific goals he had to reach. Okay? He did not bow down to the Buddha because lo yu tu che, because in his mind he took it as an object that he had certain goals to be achieved through the prostration. Meaning he disagrees with the two goals we just expressed.
Yeah, yeah.
What were they?
Collect good karma.
Yeah.
Yeah, to collect enough good karma to finish the book
And he
and
wants to act in accordance
to
with
show
good people.
he's a honorable man.
Yeah.
Honorable.
Honorable.
Yeah, okay. Okay, he wants to show he's an honorable person. And he wants to collect enough good karma to finish the book. Patsap disagrees with Gyaltsab. No. Listen, Nagarjuna and his spiritual son Ayadeva, they didn't do this prostration with 1, 2, 3, 4 ideas about what they wanted to reach or something like that. They didn't have those needs. Okay, they don't have needs like that. Okay, that's Patsap's position. Got it?
Yeah.
Lo yu tu che means they didn't bring those goals to mind. Okay. Ona jishena. Well, if you ask Patsap, okay, and he's a certain Patsap, and I don't remember. You'll have to figure it out.
Okay.
So Mr. Patsap, well then why? Jishen ona means well then.
Well, yeah.
Jishena, well why did he prostrate? Okay, what's your version? Yul Kepa Chenla, to a extraordinary object of virtue, okay, like an extraordinary karmic object, okay. He had Depa Drakpo.
He had faith, great faith.
Drakpo means more than that. Fierce.
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 Yeah.
This is the word for deities that go like this. But with faith it means, it means, like strong, fierce. In English they say fierce love or fierce faith or very strong. It means very strong. Depa Drakpo, Kene, he suddenly got. In English we say got, we don't say he developed fierce faith. He's suddenly overcome by fierce feelings of faith, intense, you can say, intense feelings of faith. And Depa Kashor means just spontaneously, without thinking. Chakze.
He threw himself on the floor.
Yeah, who?
Ari Nagarjuna.
Yeah, okay. He's just overtaken by a fit of faith and he fell down. He wasn't planning. He didn't have this goal in mind.
Right.
Okay. I'll teach you a tampe. Gyalpu Kashor. Gyalpu Kashor. Very famous. Gyalpu is king. And Kashor means he slipped. He slipped. Kashor means he said, okay, to whom, Jigme?
Who are we talking?
Famous. What's the most famous slip that a king ever made answering someone's request?
Do whatever you
Oh, when he was asking about.
Yeah, tell the story. Do you know the story?
Yeah, when who was it? Jedovan was.
No, that's a different one.
Oh, that was a slip too.
Okay, no, this one is in Nepal, and a nun came to the king and said, can I build a stupa? Can you give me the land to build a stupa? Because she didn't have any money. And the king said, no. And she said, She said, well, will you give me the amount of land that I can circumscribe with a herd of a cow, with the skin of a cow? With a cow skin, that much land will you give me? He said, any land you can circumscribe, you can cover with the
Skin of
with the skin of a cow, I will give you. So she took a very fine razor blade. And she made a string like a mile long from one cow skin. And she made a circle. And she said, okay, I'm taking this land. It's like a couple of acres. Maybe we can do it in Sedona. And she got to keep it. And that's where that stupa is, with the Buddha eyes in Nepal.
Oh, in
They
Canada.
say, yeah, Bodhnath.
Oh,
I believe that's the stupa. Yeah, that's the stupa. But Gyalpa means it slipped out of his mouth. Anything you could cover, it's okay. And he couldn't go back. So like if I was with Ken Rinpoche and I said, I don't know, can I go listen to rock and roll music at the laundromat tomorrow? And he'd say, yes. And he'd say, what? I say, Gyalpa Kashor. You promised. Okay? It's like you promised. So I've never seen it in a scripture. But here it is. Okay, long story. So it just means slip. It kind of, he wasn't planning it. He didn't have any specific goals in mind. He just so loved the Buddha. He's like, oh, I gotta bow down. Okay. Zai Payente. Perna.
For example,
Good. Den Gashik. Some people with a lot of faith. Den Gashik.
yeah.
Gopala Tokche Michepa. Without examining what their needs are. So Tokche, I can give you a 1 hour explanation on it. It comes from Abhidharma. We're going to cover it. Tokching Chupa Tsing Shib Ni. That's the quotation. Very beautiful. It relates to meditation. We're not going to talk about it. When we get there, we'll talk about it. Here it means without like delving into any particular need. Michepar, Kangdu Kyamdo, Tulchung Dujung Shin. They just say, Kyuni Lama, Kyuni Yidam, Kyuni,
They go for refuge.
please, I believe in you. Take care of me. They go for refuge. They don't think about, the Buddha's emptiness, and they just suddenly feel, oh, please help me. Okay? So he gave an example. In this case, Nagarjuna makes a prostration. Just, boom, he didn't think about it. He didn't make a plan. He just has so much faith in the Buddha, he's like, oh, okay. Like people who have a lot of faith in the Lama and say, please protect me. They don't think, but this is the reason, or okay, got it? She Sun Ke. The Ke, which means language, implies that's what he says. Okay, that's his story. Okay, whose story?
Nagarjuna, I'm guessing. Oh no, this is Gyaltsab J is saying that it's the guy from
Batsap.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what Batsap says. Okay, so he's finished with Batsap. Okay.
I didn't quite understand the last part of that sentence. You said it was for example.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should do the whole thing. Gopala, any specific goal in mind. Tokchu Michepa. They don't examine. They don't go through the reasoning. Tokpa Che as together means examine. They don't go through any particular process of reasoning.
Yeah.
Kangdu Kyamdro, they just take refuge in somebody.
Yeah.
Tuljung means spontaneously. Like just hoptakala. You want to learn a Tibetan idiom? Hoptakala. Hoptakala. It's colloquial. It means just boom, just happened. Hoptakala shows the thing fell down. Hoptakala. The statue fell down. What happened? I don't know. Just hoptakala. It just boom. It just happened. Okay. So tuljung means that. Just happened. Suddenly happened. Okay. Tuljung. Dujungwa Shin. That's the end of his sentence. Batsap. It's like when someone just spontaneously decides to ask someone, please help me. Some lama, okay? Without any listing in their mind of the goals they have. It's just a spontaneous emotional reaction. You could say emotional reaction here somewhere.
Okay. We'll throw that
Okay,
in there.
that's the idea. It's an emotional reaction. He doesn't have those two goals in mind. What were the two goals?
Trying to show he's a good man.
Yeah, trying to show he's
Trying to
respectable
get enough good karma to finish. the
and to
book.
get enough karma to finish the book. Okay, he didn't have those two. Tsangba sabunare. Does anybody have a carving?
Here.
Yeah, we have.
Can you blow that part up? There's spots up, so it must be after that.
Do you see what part I want to blow up?
Oh, here it is. Can you blow this up? Yeah, it's correct. Okay. Okay, I never heard of this person, okay, which doesn't prove anything. And you can go looking for him, okay? Probably he was a philosopher who was fairly well known in Gyaltsabje's time, and due to his weak viewpoints, is now unknown. Tsangba means Tsangba is the area north of Tibet. It's the province north of Tibet. So
So,
Geshe Tupten Rinchen is at Tsangba, for example.
North of Lhasa or north of Tibet?
I believe it's north of Lhasa. Yeah. Lhasa itself is in Utsang, as U, and then Sang is Tsang.
Central
So
district.
Utsang means Utsang is the name of those two provinces together. Okay. And I like Tsangba. The interesting thing about Tsangba people is their language, their accent is perfect. If you can find a Tsangba person to study with, like Geshe Tupten Rinchen, his accent is absolutely perfect. So you can understand everything very easily. He don't talk like that. Okay. He talks like that, and you can understand everything exactly what he is saying. Okay. And I was his translator, so I was happy.
The equivalent.
Before that, I tried to translate for a Lama from East Tibet, and he was like, I'm like, and then he got angry at me. He's like, I was teaching in a class. He was teaching a class, and I was like, he said, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, I said, I didn't understand a single word you said. Then he got really angry. Then there was a monk from Sang there.
Oh,
He translated from him to him, and I translate from him to him. Everything was happy. Okay. Yeah, it took. Okay. Detar Gopa Mishete, he also says there is no such need as such as the two purposes that you have. He also does not accept the purposes which you have stated, okay? Which I just stated, okay? Shena, and Sangba Saba says, Saba from Sangba also says, and if you did accept that Nagarjuna had those two purposes in mind, okay? Then he gives an Andradian statement. Okay, he goes to logic. He goes into logic form. No, Sangba Saba
Oh, he's. Yeah, okay.
says, if you're gonna tell me there's these two goals, okay, and I don't accept it, and even if I were to accept it, there's some problems here. Okay, so Shena means if I were to accept it, there's some problems. Okay, what are the problems? Then he goes into a logical statement. Blah 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 blah. Papa Yepse che.
Consider the Arya and his spiritual son.
Yeah. Now he goes to a Telnger. Sarcastic. So the first tell is up or down? He goes down. Kansa damba mayimbata. Mayimbata.
They're not holy people.
Oh, so I guess they're not good people. I guess Nagarjuna and Aryadeva are not very holy.
Yeah.
He's like that. You go like this. Oh, so I guess Nagarjuna and Aryadeva are not very special people. And then what's the response from Gyaltsabje? Chi-chu.
Would you say that?
Why do you say that? Oh, because oh, because they're hoping for some kind of thing for themselves out of this prostration. The prostration is not religious, it's a business. I'll trade you a prostration for something I want. Okay, like he criticizes Gyaltsabje. He says, come on, they're not like doing prostration business, you know? Len la rewa means they're hoping for something back.
Yeah, hoping for
They're
some
hoping for some return.
Return on investment.
Okay? They're hoping some return consisting of gupa, of something they're looking for.
Yeah.
Okay, gupa len la rewa tan che peche. Pernat songbashin.
For example, some kappas.
No, not song.
Oh.
Song.
Song.
Songkang.
Sorry.
Songkang.
Yeah, the store.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're just a businessman, right?
Well,
They're Dharma businessmen.
yeah.
Why? They only prostrate if they can get something. Okay, come on, these guys are holy. Okay, they don't need to prostrate for something. They're prostrating because it's holy. They're not trying to get anything. They don't care what people think they're a nice person. And they're not trying to make karma. They just prostrate because Buddha is holy, there's
Yeah.
good, you should prostrate.
But
Got
what
it?
they're actually saying in the words is that, for example, they're like a business, or that they're like, it's just like going to the store.
Yeah, if it was, it's a conditional statement.
Yeah.
By the way, how many parts does a logical statement normally have?
3 parts.
But sometimes 4.
Or example.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dach chemitakte chepichir perna
The example.
om shin, om nung shin.
Mhm.
Okay. Take sound, it's changing because it was created by causes. It's like the om.
Mhm.
Or anything that's changing. Okay. So it's very common at the end to give a perna statement.
Mhm.
For example, it's like blah blah blah.
Mhm.
Here his example is, so he's got a full Tilgir here.
Mhm.
What's the example?
Consider the Arya and his spiritual son.
Yeah.
They aren't holy.
Now
Sorry.
this is not called a quality to be proven. This is called a quality that we're accusing them of.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so there's a different word. It's called a selwa.
So,
The thing which we actually are trying to eliminate. Okay, so are you telling me that they're not good people? Why do you say that? Because they just prostrate because they want something. Why do you say that? Well, they're like business people. Okay, got it? Okay, so it's a tengyur. Somashin she.
Is that shin just like yin?
You always end the Berna statement with shin.
Oh, okay.
For example, it would be like
Uh-huh.
a businessman.
Okay.
They would be like a businessman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She.
sorry.
Korsum kelang. So I'm getting lost a little bit by this point,
Yeah.
but I think he's saying to us, korti korsum, korti korsum.